Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tether Podcast, the only podcast keeping you from spiraling out into the infinite abyss. My name's Daniel, and I am joined here today with my co-host and brother man, Joseph. Joseph, you want to say hello?
Yo, what is up? A little mouth air horn there just to get this party started just right. And by the way, when you say brother man, you do literally mean brother.
This is true. Yeah. It's not a brother from another mother. It is my true brother from the same mother.
From the same mother. That is exactly right. So this is 001. This is the Genesis. This is the first episode of Tether Radio. Why don't we get it started with intros? Do you want to give the people a little bit of information about yourself?
Sure thing, man. I thought you'd never ask. Yeah, so my name's Daniel. I currently reside in the great state of Tennessee, specifically Knoxville. And so anybody that's not familiar with the geography of the Southeast, Knoxville is located in East Tennessee. So we are known for lots of things. I'm just gonna leave it at that. You can look it up if you'd like.
Yeah, that's right. White Lightning, Tennessee football, and other things.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So I'm 31 years old, about to be 32. I have a wife. I'm happily married, and I have a 7-month-old son, Finn, and my wife, Megan, is a fantastic woman. She puts up with my shit. So
yeah, but she lets you break away and buy microphones for podcasts. And
exactly.
Right.
Just a little bit about my, education background. I got a micro degree from the University of Tennessee. Went on to get a doctorate of pharmacy at the University of Tennessee Health Science Center in Memphis. That's a story in itself. Basically came back to Knoxville, and I have not actually worked as a pharmacist at this point. Our son popped out, and I'm a stay-at-home dad, man. So
well, it's coming though. It's coming. There's still time. For you to pill push.
Yeah.
And pill push you will.
Exactly. But dude, why don't you return the favor?
Yeah, man. Totally. So Daniel's brother, hard stop. No. My name is Joseph. I've got a couple of years on Daniel. I am the oldest, and grew up with Daniel in Tennessee. Graduated in the middle of the recession. Work ended up taking me to California, and I've been there ever since. Work in technology. Got a graduate degree from the University of Southern California in finance and data analytics. And now I am, as I said, working in tech. I am married also to my beautiful wife, Martha, and she is in the entertainment business. So we spend a little bit of time in Atlanta also. So today I am coming to you from Atlanta, Georgia. My second favorite
Atlanta,
city.
baby.
My third favorite city, right? First is Knoxville, second is Los Angeles, and the third is Atlanta. But that's it. And just a little bit of color on kind of the perspective here. The idea of this entire program kind of came about just through conversations that Daniel and I were having with each other. We'd hop on the phone and chat a little bit about current events and art. We'll get into this, no doubt, but we used to be in a band together, and actually that's kind of how we made money in high school and early college. And so we grew up together, and we're just a couple of brothers of a certain age, kind of right in I'm on the end of the millennial category, and you're kind of more in the center of it, I guess. But we just thought that it would be interesting to share that perspective. I think I'm getting arrested. Yeah. Hang on. There might be a
kids, hide your wives.
There might
Joey B's on the loose.
Might be a boot coming through the door, but so that's like the bad part about recording podcasts on really good microphones in big cities. Every now and again, you'll pick up the shrill shriek of an emergency vehicle. So. Yeah. Anyway, I hope whoever the fuck that was got saved.
Yeah, there you go.
So anyway, that's kind of the perspective, and we're gonna do this weekly. And we were kind of doing it for us, and we thought it'd be cool as hell to invite other people to kind of come along for the ride, and eventually we're gonna do some call-ins and things like that. But that's about it. You have anything else to add?
I don't think so. I mean, basically. Just covering current events, like you said, and we're gonna try to kind of start having segments and stuff, maybe recurring, maybe one time, depending on how they hit. But yeah, man. So this show is all encompassing. So I guess without any further ado, let's hop into the first little category we got picked out.
Let's do it. So I guess one other quick note. One of the ways that these kind of categories come together is just, throughout the week, or, as conversations kind of pop up in our own social circles, something that's interesting, kind of hits, we'll just note it, and then that's kind of what we use as jumping off points for this. So this week, I guess, we'll start off here with a little kind of cultural note here that I thought was pretty interesting. So the category is there's a category of music called Thai pop or T-pop. Forgive me for putting so hard a P on there, but it definitely warrants it. But it's really interesting. So, there was a guy, that played for the Talking Heads, the lead singer of the Talking Heads, David Byrne. And he went back and for a while in his career was putting together a bunch of, compilation albums, of just these esoteric types of music, just super, super specific stuff. And he did this one of West African psychedelic music. Mm-hmm. And so, we'll pull links down and kind of, throw some of this up on the website so folks can track along. But anyway, so I was going back and having a little nostalgic moment and listening to this, and this Thai pop thing, kind of popped up, and, I started giving it a listen. And, I would really, really, really suggest, that folks hop in and kind of listen to this. I mean, it's some really, really far out stuff. And I guess the thought around this, and one of the reasons that I threw it up here, that I just thought it was so interesting, was that, it's kind of hard to think about what was happening in other countries, during the 60s and 70s for me, right? Yeah. Like, I feel like I just don't have, a real good handle on, like thinking about, what France was like, or what Germany was like, yeah. Or, Thailand or whatever in these times. And so I think the thing that's really cool about this, so what we'll post is this little video by, Sublime Frequencies, and it's called Thai Pop Spectacular, the 1960s to the 1980s. And it's just cool because it's like really, really psychedelic stuff. But even some that's kind of a la like the Kingsmen or something, right?
Yeah.
But it's all just, obviously, sung in Thai. And then a lot of the rhythms and the instruments that they're using are, native Thai, native to that region. I shouldn't say native to Thailand, but native to that region. Yeah. So anyway, I just thought it was really interesting because it's just kind of this like picture into what was happening in other countries, at this really, really culturally transformative time in the United States. But I mean, man, I guess that was just the zeitgeist then, right? Like just this kind of deeper transformation of kind of traditional stodgy, cultural touchstones to like, stuff that was more psychedelic and forward leaning. Anyway, did you get an opportunity to listen to it at all?
Yeah. So I actually hopped around in the video you'd sent, and I'll tell you, what was really interesting to me is how similar a lot. I mean, like, now obviously which came first, the chicken or the egg kind of thing. Was it Eastern influence on Western music or vice versa? But dude, it all has a very similar sound to what was happening in, like, how British invasion and the US kind of thing. You know? And I mean, but like you said, it's with these with instruments that are more widely, used in Asia kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
So it's almost like Eastern adaptation of Western music kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can't help but kind of go, like you said, which came first, but kind of go both ways on that. Yeah. I mean, it's really interesting, and this is another topic for another podcast, but the conversation of like cultural appropriation is just really interesting within the context of this stuff, because I mean, I definitely, there's certain aspects of it that I can understand, of that term, and kind of maybe where people may be offended, like maybe. But I just think it's really interesting because, I mean, most of what, humans do is like this kind of accretive thing where, something happens and then somebody else takes it and kind of iterates and just slightly changes something. And then, you end up, evolving concepts into, moon launches, right? Yeah. And so it's just pretty cool to kind of take a look at that on the kind of cultural music side. So anyway, Thai pop. So we'll definitely get that up on the website, but I think it's worth checking out.
Cool. Yeah, dude. No, it was entertaining if nothing else. So.
Yep.
But okay. Well, rock and roll, man. Well, speaking of, I guess, other, long trips across oceans. How about that?
Yeah, it's a good segue, dude.
Right.
It's a good segue. No, so this was a second one that I posted up here that I think is definitely worth a listen. I mean, I'm on this music thing, but worth a listen. So basically, what was it? Maybe like a month ago or something, that there was Donald Glover, not Donald Glover, Childish Gambino, released the song "This Is America," right? And I was looking at it this morning, 239 million views. Like, this thing was like racking up views, right?
Yeah.
And it was like, I don't know, if you haven't seen the video, if you're listening and haven't seen the video, definitely go check it out. It's cool. It's like one super long shot around a warehouse. And there are just all these, kind of visuals that, tell the story of, I guess, from Donald Glover's perspective, where, the United States is right now.
Yeah.
There are references to guns and like hyper-violence, and, there's certainly some kind of, racial commentaries in there and all that. But I mean, suffice to say, and kind of in summation of This Is America, it's just like supposed to be like a snapshot from his perspective of like what's happening culturally in the United States. Well, this guy Falz, F-A-L-Z, who is a Nigerian rapper, put this kind of response together, shot in the same way, actually using the same beat, right?
Yeah.
And it's called This Is Nigeria. And so the thing that I thought was really dope about this was that, and I mentioned this to you a little bit earlier, Daniel, but with a lot of remixes, it's like some, whatever, shitty country song, and then somebody like sets it to dubstep, and then like that, to this like, whatever beat drop, and then that's like a remix. But I thought this was really, really, really cool because it was really the nature of, I guess, what I would consider, a more true remix, right? This guy takes his concept and actually iterates on his concept to make it relevant to his worldview.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was cool as shit, man, because I mean, like or not, the Childish Gambino video, having this guy kind of answer that with something else, I thought was pretty cool. Did you get a second to check that one out by chance?
Yeah, dude. I guess starting with the Childish Gambino video, what I really liked about that one was just the fact that it's like you've got all this super intense political and societal commentary going on, like you said, that as the visualization part. But then it's like, he's got like gospel samples and stuff, because like you said, it's like this snapshot of what's going on right now. And it's like, I mean, you've got fantastic things going on, but then you also, you don't have to look very far to find, corrupt police or like, racial violence or, just political bias, whatever the case is, kind of thing. It's
right.
Just, it's very interesting how they decided to put all that stuff together. Now, moving on to Falls's video, super, super cool, because I feel like a big takeaway from his was that it's like, I mean, dude, okay, yeah, there are some shitty parts to America, just as there are shitty parts to any country, but it's all relative. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, when we talk about corrupt police in Nigeria, you're talking about somebody that'll fucking kill you if you don't pay them because they pulled you over for speeding.
Yeah, man, there's some really intense.
You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, I mean, it's just one of those situations that it's like, I don't know. I mean, I feel like a lot of people fail to step back and see the forest, or they step back and that allows them to actually see the forest, kind of thing. Because, referencing the phrase, not being able to see the forest for the trees.
Right.
But it's one of those things that it's like, I mean, dude, a lot of people, sometimes we start looking at stuff with or through a pinhole kind of thing, or just with blinders on. It's like, damn, man, sometimes it's like, just because you had a flat tire on the way to work, that shit is way different than fucking, somebody coming in with a bomb and trying to blow up your spot or whatever, your business.
Yeah, and I guess it's not to say, right. I mean, everything is relative, and it's like, I'm totally with you. I mean, you can't really, like, the problems in the United States are definitely mostly first world problems.
Yeah.
And there are some there, but I say that there are some that are like really, really deep kind of structural issues, definitely structural issues that culturally, folks are working through. But I'm with you. I mean, I just thought it was really, really interesting artistically to see two artists do this. And frankly, I hope that we see more of it, because I thought it was just a really cool kind of, cultural echo, and I really dug it. So we'll post, it's Paul's video, and Childish Gambino. Yep. Cool. So you had, I see that you had something, for us here. Let's get into, roll the sleeves. Speaking of structural problems here, I don't know. I don't know if, let's just dive into it. Go ahead.
Yeah. All right. So I chose to, bring to the table the current, or I guess the recent happenings with Roseanne Barr and her show's demise, I guess. So just for anybody that wasn't aware of this, which I'm not sure how you wouldn't be, but we'll go ahead and recap. So on May 29th, Roseanne, after wrapping up literally the most successful season for a show for the 2017-2018 2018 seasons. She decided to tweet out, basically not comparing, but she pointed out that, and let me get that, Valerie Jarrett, who, if you don't know who Valerie Jarrett was, she was an advisor for Obama during his presidency. And she basically said, and I want to make sure that I want to quote the tweet. Here we go. She said, "Muslim Brotherhood and Planet of the Apes had a baby equals VJ." So I don't know what would inspire someone to send that out. Just because, I mean, it's one of these things that, which, I mean, you know, you look at and she actually, subsequently, posted.
Well, no, it was the Ambien that made her do it.
Yeah, no, exactly. But, she said, or afterwards, she tweeted out photos of, like, the, characters in costume for Planet of the Apes, directly beside Valerie Jarrett's her picture.
Right.
And so it was one of these things that, first of all, I don't know why the hell you would do that. And to quote this other Fox News article, I thought that it was actually kind of funny. But they knew what ABC knew who they were getting when they hired Roseanne Barr, and it was just one of these things. Everybody said that, oh yeah, she's, you know, so hard to control, all this, that, and the other, or whatever. But in this article, they basically said, what planet do you have to be on to talk about what planet do you have to be on to talk about a black person and Planet of the Apes? Because, I mean, it's one of those things that, dude, when you're in show business and stuff, you gotta watch your shit, period.
I mean, yeah, but it's just, to me, it's like, I don't know. I just have such a hard time relating to, like, you're absolutely entitled to say whatever the hell you want to say. For sure. For sure. And I think that, you know, Roseanne's a comedian, and I think we have to allow comedians to really push the bar, or push the envelope rather, Roseanne Barr, but to really push the envelope. But man, I mean, it's just like you know, dropping the N-word, man.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's not exactly the same thing, but it's just one of these things where it's like, okay, like what? You know, there are so many, you know, legitimate, attack vectors that you could use as a comedian. Mm-hmm. And it's like, to me,
it's lazy, dude.
Well, and just
in my opinion,
devolving the conversation into that kind of shit is just, I mean, it's not, of course, I agree. It's definitely lazy, and it's really, like, if Roseanne is serious about being like a force for conservatism or whatever, then you just can't devolve the conversation like that.
No.
You know, and that's,
right.
So I think that's the crazy part about it is that, I mean, look, dumbass people are celebrities all the time. Like, we know this. This is a fact. And so I think the thing that's just, for me, that was a little bit disappointing about the whole thing is that, you know, be you conservative or liberal, it is really, really important to have this kind of pendulum swing back and forth. You know, I mean, Obama was awesome and did a lot of great things, and some not so great things. And now we got Donald Trump, and we'll see how it goes for sure. But it's just important to have kind of that back and forth discourse. And so even though people get in their echo chambers and they think they want, you know, everybody kind of marching to the beat of the same drum, you don't really want that. And so what was interesting is, you know, like in large part, you see, you know, a lot of the shows that come out and a lot of the media kind of skew liberal. I mean, I don't think that that's really up for debate now. It may be, but it seems that most, broadcasters and most shows, are kind of more left leaning, I think. And so it was interesting because Roseanne came out and it was like this kind of, shocker from the right, but people were really digging it and whatever. And it's just like, just to see this like really sloppy ass implosion. And it was like,
oh, dude, yeah. But and the thing is, I was having a conversation with one of my buddies the other day, and we were actually talking about this. And the thing that people fail to realize is, yes, you have the freedom of speech. You can say whatever you'd like, but you are not free from the repercussions of what you say.
That's right. That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Because it's like, it's one of those situations that it's like, yeah, dude, you can say as much whatever hate speak and all this whatever you want to do. Yeah, you have the right to do that. But, if it comes back, blows back in your face and just destroys your life, you had to at least have an inkling as to, good things were not going to come of it, kind of thing.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And so look, I'm gonna throw this into the mix here. But I think it's gonna be a great little accentuator on the Roseanne Barr section here. Yeah. So I have a website pulled up that says, remember these funny Roseanne quotes? And it's got Roseanne Connor. It's got quotes from Dan Connor. This is the old Roseanne, right?
Yeah.
Darlene Connor, DJ Connor, and Jackie Harris. So I'm gonna read one of these quotes, and you tell me, was it Jackie, who is Roseanne's wacky liberal sister? Was it DJ, the bowl cut boy of the Roseanne tribe?
Yeah.
Was it Darlene, the chain smoking 15-year-old? Was it Dan Connor, or was it Roseanne? Are you ready for this?
Yeah, sure.
I'm not kidding, by the way. These are straight off this website.
Okay.
Don't touch that cream corn.
What?
This is one of the ones they pegged. Is one of the fun.
I'm gonna say Roseanne.
It's close. That was Dan. That was next.
Dude, you know what, man? That was my next guess. No.
Okay. All right. Here's one. It's over, rat boy.
Oh my God, Darlene.
It's good. You're good.
I know my Roseanne. No, I'm just kidding.
You're good. All right, here's one. And I feel like this is exactly why Mom wouldn't let us watch this. We were both sitting in a porta-crapper that got nailed by a wrecking ball. I didn't take one shot. Now that is love.
What?
I'm just reading this.
Roseanne.
Darlene. Fooled you. All right, here we go. Gonna do two more.
All right.
Cool. When can I shave my pits?
Darlene.
DJ. And then the last.
I thought DJ was a dude.
DJ is a dude.
Okay.
He's a young kid.
Okay.
I think that was a puberty joke.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Let me just scan this real quick here. Oh, here we go. Okay, this is the one. What's that? Okay, I'll tell her. The coffee says that you're a meddling old bat. Who's sapping my will to live? I mean, dude, this literally sounds like, this literally sounds like, I don't know. It just sounds like a Tourette's outburst, man. It's just, it doesn't make any, here, let me switch it up. Don't you dare call her mom. You may call her Bev or Sea Hag.
Jackie.
That was Jackie.
Yeah, there you go, dude.
So anyway, moving on.
Yeah. Well, so anyway,
the old Bev or Sea Hag. I mean, that was what, episode 6, season 4. That was great. That was great.
Fantastic season.
Yeah, that was a good
really
one.
Had a mid-season finale to die for.
Yeah.
But
the story arc was great.
Yeah. So anyway, so she makes this joke that she says was a joke, apparently. First of all, it wasn't that funny in the first place, but fell flat. Completely, everybody tore apart in the Twittersphere. And then I think it was less than 24 hours after she did that, the show gets canceled.
Right.
You know? And so she basically moves on to almost go through, and what are the different stages of, like, how it's like denial and acceptance?
Those are the stages of grief.
Yeah. So I literally, there are articles that just keep
shock, denial, anger, bargaining, depression, testing.
I'm telling you, dude,
acceptance.
She exhibited like all of them, but all within like a 5-day period or something like that.
Right.
But anyway, so she starts apologizing and stuff, and like, basically bringing up of how many people are going to be out of jobs due to the fact that she made this mistake, and then her co-actors, I don't know, whatever they would be called, they start like chiming in and basically being like, yeah, F Roseanne, dude, like, we're not hooking our wagon to hers, like she's made these terrible decisions, she's gonna have to live with herself, kind of thing,
Yeah.
Just I mean, it's just really, it's funny how quickly everybody starts jumping off of the burning ship that was the Roseanne show, but then like a couple days later, she, starts like whatever begging Ben Sherwood, who's like the ABC, like an ABC executive, trying to get her job back, blah, 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 all that jazz. Well, then she decides to turn around and be like, oh, well, it wasn't me, it was the Ambien, which I think that was actually one of the earlier tweets, but it wasn't really focused on until later.
Right.
Especially once, I think it's Santa, who makes Ambien? I can't remember exactly who.
No idea, but they made fun of her.
They were like, they hit her back with the tweet that it was like, Ambien has multiple side effects. Racism is not one.
Yeah, I mean, she's so whatever, makes sense. She was fucked up. She said something really, really stupid. Whether she meant it or not, she said it. So suffer the consequences.
Yeah, it was just ridiculous. It was ridiculous.
Yeah. Well. Okay. One quick shot here. You want to guess what her net worth is? This is according to CelebrityNetWorth.com.
20 million.
$80 million.
Wow, dude. That's crazy.
Roseanne Barr don't give a fuck.
Yeah, dude. I mean, this was, yeah.
She's doing her thing, man. It's gonna,
she'll be back in the saddle in no time. as we say down in the deep south.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But look, it's a good segue into the next segment here, which this next one is going to get a little bit icky, sticky, weird, whatever, but we'll work through, which is like the court of public opinion, right? And this idea of companies just not really wanting to take a stand kind of either way. And actually that kind of segues into another segment that we've got later. Oh, no, we didn't put that in, but I'll mention it briefly.
That's cool.
So I mean, it's first of all, Roseanne aside, any situation, celebrity says something stupid, does something dumb, from off-color comment to, whatever crazy shit, being, fucked up in public or whatever. Yeah. And companies, just distance themselves. I mean, you're hearing, companies all the time dump, dump folks that have endorsed their products or whatever, just based on tweets and whatever. And I get it, like information moves fast, and if you're a company, you've got to, do damage control. And in this world of social media, like shit
moves even faster.
Shit moves fast, and you got to be on.
Virality is.
That's right. That's right. And you got to be on top of it. And it's like whether or not you agree or disagree. I mean, I think the Roseanne thing was pretty clear cut. And honestly, I think this next one is clear cut. Whether you agree or disagree, it is the kind of new reality of, being a public figure and conducting business in a place where these types of public figures are so accessible and, are have the ability to just kind of run their mouths like this. But the court of public opinion is like a really, really interesting concept here. And so the next point that we had here, or little, item on the list, the Harvey Weinstein. So Harvey Weinstein is facing a class action lawsuit. And this is I think he turned himself into the police in New York. And he is, supposedly going to trial, for multiple sexual assaults and rape accusations. And he's going to be put on trial and, do the thing. And so, it's interesting because you and I were talking about this, a little bit earlier, and I wanted to bring it up and just kind of chat about it briefly here. But like, I don't think that it can be denied. Harvey Weinstein, like, the guy is a son of a bitch. And, statistically, it's like with Bill Cosby, like if 15 people, if 30 people, if 40, whatever absurd number of people, are coming forward, like statistically, like you probably did what was said. Like these people are not going to, coordinate their stories and come and do that shit. That's an absurd assumption. And it's not to say that it should take that many people to kind of like bring these guys down. But nevertheless, like,
I think it just makes it more clear cut.
Just makes it more clear cut. That's right. And you probably did what they said you did or whatever. And by the way, I mean, me being like saying or whatever and being kind of flip, I'm not being flip about the subject matter. I'm just, trying to move through the point that I'm trying to make, quickly here.
Sure.
But it's interesting because whether or not, and just hang with me here and let me clarify, but whether or not, or excuse me, qualify what I'm saying, but whether or not you are Harvey Weinstein and you are probably a son of a bitch and probably a sexual fucking monster, this concept of being tried in the court of public opinion is really, really, really dangerous, And I think that it's something that, I don't know, I've just been thinking a lot about because, I mean, it's almost like you just have to be really careful about reviews that you leave, about, just really almost anything that you do that somebody could turn around and post to Twitter, even if you're kind of a nobody, even if you're not a public figure. And somebody could repost on Twitter or Facebook or, Reddit or whatever. And it's just like, you've really, really got to be thoughtful about kind of what you put out into the world. And so, I think with this guy, the thing that's interesting is like, hell yeah, like fry his ass, put him in jail for 1,000 years if he has in fact done these things that they say that he has done. But I wonder, as we continue to kind of move forward on this like, interconnected, social, tech linked kind of, social media planet or whatever. How do you start to think about, getting like drawing lines, keeping, the two separate, right? Due process from, the court of public opinion. And I guess the short answer is you don't, but, at the same time, I mean, according to due process, you should get there is a process that you go through that is, geared to achieve justice. Whether it does or not is a different story.
Yeah.
And being judged by, 12 of your peers is a part of that. And not having them kind of, be overly exposed to your situation prior is also an important part of it. So again, Harvey Weinstein, son of a bitch. I hope they put him behind bars for 1,000 years.
Yeah.
99% chance he did all these things. Like the allegations are crazy. His quotes are crazy. The number of people that have come forward are crazy. That aside, how do you start to think about this kind of court of public opinion versus due process?
Well, no, and I mean, like, honestly, that's a fantastic question because, I mean, it's as everyone becomes more and more careful and, like, I guess deliberate about their actions and stuff, I mean, at some point there's got to be some kind of breaking point kind of thing that it's just like, I mean, because, even though in this case, like you said, most likely, I mean, this is cut and dry, Dude had a lot of power, took advantage, sexually of multiple women kind of thing. And now he's getting his comeuppance,
Right.
But it also is one of these situations of kind of, and I'm trying to figure out how to say this, but, I mean, like you said, when the social media is just inundated with stuff like this, how is it not spun to a degree and getting people just lit and like, getting them emotionally fired up to the point of basically having, pitchforks and torches and stuff, and then they see the smallest of allegations and they want to burn that person to the ground too.
Right.
Kind of thing.
Right.
You know
right,
what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I mean, dude, if there's one thing that social media definitely achieves, it's getting people emotionally charged in like with any emotion. Kind of thing.
Right.
And so it's. I mean, you bring up a very interesting point, just like how do you separate? How do you get an objective court proceeding with when that is existing parallel with whatever's happening on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that jazz,
Right.
And just like the interconnectivity of all of it. I mean, that it has to have some kind of an influence on one on the other,
Yeah. And it's Weinstein is such a shitty example to use, but it just kind of keyed off the thought, right? Which is that, it's just, you can't, I mean, this social media thing, man. We will look back on this in 20 years. And I mean, I work in on kind of distributed, database technology, but, the reason I bring that up is because being able to kind of prove provenance of data kind of, if you walk this tech really forward, like that's kind of one of the pipe dreams here. One of the dreams is to be able to do that. And so the point is that you can, start holding people accountable for what they said. And fake news, you could theoretically say this is fake because I know its origin and blah, 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 blah. And so the point is that now the internet is like largely, has a lot of kind of disordered and is unordered, right?
Yeah.
And so it's just interesting because, dude, I mean, the internet is not that old, and social media has created such a just bizarre web of just second, third, fourth, fifth order reactions to something that you do. I mean, and I just think it's just really, really interesting. I mean, I don't know what the answer to that is, or I don't even really know where I was going with that thought. Go ahead.
No, well, you just made me think of something that I wonder if where we are with social media and the internet right now isn't where people were with like TV in the 40s, 50s, or I guess 50s, once it became like, most households had a TV. If you saw some shit on TV, you believed it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
yeah.
It's like, just because some person can put together a .com, dude, and throw some stuff up and make it look legit, people believe it.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, which, by the way, oh, dude, for next.
Yeah.
You have to remind me about
this
this.
This is kind of, I don't know. It's just, it's very interesting where we're at.
And we'll have to talk about this on the next one. But man, have you ever heard of deep porn? Deep porn. Have you heard of this? No, I'm not kidding. This shit is wild. People using AI to overlay celebrities' faces over like porn actresses, and it like looks like the celebrity. Yeah. And it looks like the celebrity is in a video. But you digress. I digress. You were talking about TV. Fuck, dude. Think about messaging pigeons. Homing pigeons.
Well, no, but that's that's the thing, dude.
11:50, and they're just like, whoa, shit, man. Like these messenger pigeons, they're delivering the truth.
Yeah, well, no, exactly. And I mean, you end up in this this situation of like, okay, well, which I mean, dude, you know me, obviously. I'm a raging cynic. Right. Unless I experienced it or I saw it happen, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to question what's going on,
Right.
And so I don't understand that thinking of like, oh, well, I saw it on a website, so I mean, it has to be true.
Right.
But I mean, it kind of does come back to all of this stuff, and I guess I'm stepping back into because I mean Harvey Weinstein was I mean he was pretty much the start to the Me Too movement, right? Or at least he was at the beginning, right?
I don't know. I don't know. He could have just been an accelerant. I mean, the guy's a fucking piece of shit. But
oh yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess it's just one of those things that, like, for all these people start saying, "Oh yeah, me too, me too, me too," all this jazz, and then you start if you're actually looking at some of the stories. People's lives were destroyed. Not that I, by any fucking stretch of the imagination, am I defending Harvey Weinstein, but people's lives have been destroyed, and then they've come to find out that the girl was lying.
Yeah, and I think I mean it's interesting though because I think the kind of instance of somebody being a psychopath and like using this to get back at somebody, I would like to think is low, but I mean it's just like, dude, I mean the point is when somebody accuses somebody else of doing some atrocious shit, like of course everyone's reaction is like,
how dare they? Or,
is like, get him, know?
Exactly.
But I mean, it's just, it's interesting and it's very, very, dangerous, and we'll see how it plays out. But, all right, dude. So let's shift gears here. So I've been feeling, I've been working out, been getting back in the gym, doing the running thing. And, I'm looking for, been thinking about
nice little supplement.
Thinking of a nice little supplement. Yeah. Do you have any suggestions on something I might be able to maybe just, I don't know.
Oh, brother, do I have a suggestion?
Oh, really? Tell me, Fred.
So, I actually ran across an article about cockroach milk.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you heard me correctly. Cockroach milk of thine cockroach.
Mm-hmm.
So,
okay.
I was like, I had to reread it like a couple times because I was just like, what in the hell are these people talking about?
Right.
But it actually is it was very interesting to be honest. So basically, these researchers that I'm actually going to specifically reference one Dr. Barbara Stay, who is a now retired professor of biology at the University of Iowa. So she started, in quotation marks, milking Diplotera punctata cockroaches in the 1950s.
Okay.
And she is believed to be the first person that started doing this.
Okay.
So one might ask,
how?
Exactly.
Right.
So she would.
So first she had to devolve humans into the size of ants.
Exactly.
And then
she pulled out her shrink ray,
then she had to build a cockroach farm.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But no, you're good. So she would replace embryos in pregnant cockroaches with filter paper. And this filter paper would soak up the, I'm going to refer to it as cockroach milk, but it really wouldn't be considered milk. So,
it's just some sort of, I don't know, dude, you're the microbiologist here. I don't know that actually gives you
I was going to say.
Helps you out. But
entomology.
Is that an enzyme?
I would
is that a, okay.
No. So, honestly, this is what it is. It is literally the nutrients that the embryo would have received, kind of thing.
Okay.
And I don't know what it would be categorized as. It's just like because they actually, not in this article that I'm looking at currently, but I'll tell you what. Let me go ahead and get back to.
Go to the story. So anyway, she was doing that. She takes the baby cockroaches out, and she puts filter paper, and then what?
And then she allows that to soak up the milk.
Okay.
And that the cockroach is making for the extracted embryo. She said that over the course of 24 to 48 hours. You could barely get a half of a drop. That was
from one.
From one. Okay.
Right.
But they were talking about it in the article.
Uh-huh.
And what they're like, it totally is unfeasible to think, oh yeah, let's set up a cockroach farm and start milking cockroaches, kind of thing.
Right.
Because there's entirely too much work that would be done. The return on investment would be abysmal. I can only imagine.
Right.
But
so
anyway,
this is something that people have taken and just said, oh my God, cockroach milk. Like, would you?
Yes, right. To a degree, because then I started diving a little bit deeper, and what they're talking about doing is looking at a cockroach's DNA, extracting the gene that would basically you could splice into something else. They use as an example yeast, and then you could trick the yeast, or not trick, but like I guess genomically trick the yeast into producing this at larger quantities.
Got it.
So you'd basically be brewing, and I don't know if brewing would be the right term. I just said that because of yeast, but
right.
You could mass produce this cockroach milk.
So here's the question though, right? Like, you come in after a hard day of yard work, you've got a thirst. Okay. And you don't know how you're going to quench this thirst, right?
Yeah.
And so you start thinking, do I want a shot of Mad Dog? And, that's not going to really hit the spot. And then you start thinking, do I want an RC Cola? And apparently you have a refrigerator that, looks like a really old food store in New York or something. But anyway.
So the question is, do you push aside the Sunny D?
Yeah, you push aside the Sunny D and you see a big, like gleaming jug of Cock's Best. And so
Cock's Best. Cock Teats Best.
Do you? Yeah. And so you, Farmer Cock's Best, right? And so, and so, I guess my question is, I know you're reaching for Cock's Best, but do you go with the strawberry mix or do you go with the plain vanilla? You know, I don't know. What kind of guy are you? You know?
Yeah, dude. No, and honestly, these are all very pertinent questions.
Yeah, and and it sounds like the good doctor's a few years off from tricking that dummy yeast into into brewing her stuff. So sounds like dude, we've got a couple years to think about it. But I mean, and that's the key question: vanilla or strawberry. And that's all I got on that.
Yeah. Well, so anyway, just the closing comment on this. So they actually, since they were talking about splicing it into yeast, they were talking about potentially making like some kind of bread or beer that had a large quantity. I don't think they're talking about straight up like, putting quart jars of cockroach milk on the shelves or anything.
Sure.
But it was just it was really interesting because they were talking about just how the nutrition from it was just like 5-7 times more nutritious than cow milk kind of thing. And it was one of those things that, and I know that obviously all of these articles came out because I'm sure like 1 or 2 studies came out. It said it was nutritious. And like you said, everybody's like cockroach milk.
Right.
You know? So, but
everybody sounds like a grandmother.
Exactly.
Cockroach milk, I've never heard of something.
But anyway.
Get back in here and pull on that cow's teeth.
Yeah. But anyway, wrapping that up, I guess it's just something to watch for on the horizon because it could come to a convenience store near you.
Look, my thing is, I'm down, man. I'm down. I mean, I really don't. There's not a lot that I won't. I mean, like obviously items that are food. Food grade, you know what I mean? I was gonna say there's not a lot I won't eat. Like I'm like walking around like sticking people's loose shoelaces in my mouth, or whatever.
You sound like my son.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean it's like, but I mean like food grade shit. Like there's, I mean, Martha and I went to, we're in Southeast Asia last year. I mean, you knew this, Daniel. And had like, street carts or whatever. And they have like grubs on a stick and like, roasted grasshoppers. And people were like, oh God, I mean, it's not that, these things are not that bad. Like people, whatever.
Especially when you put a little, Tony Cheshire on.
But now we are talking. I kept saying no. Lemon pepper. Lemon.
Like, Lowry's.
I was like, y'all don't got ranch? What the fuck? Hey, brother, pull out a map. I'll show you where Hidden Valley is. That shit's been out for years.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, dude. So, I mean, whatever. As long as it's dippable, bruh, I'm in.
Yeah.
No, but people talk about this like gross shit. Who cares, dude? I mean, if it's healthy and it's like, whatever. I mean, I don't know. Have you had, not to take this, too far off the path here, but have you had, God, what is that stuff called? It's a Soylent. Have you had Soylent?
Yeah, I have had Soylent.
Yeah, I mean, it's not delicious. You don't dream about this shit that tastes vaguely like pancake batter.
It tastes like Cheerio milk.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
You know what
exactly.
I'm saying?
It just tastes like something used to be in it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know if I could have described that better myself, man.
Yeah. That's it. It's just like, I don't know if you filtered out pancakes or bread crust or
running through a pancake filter.
Yeah. I don't know. But I mean, my point is like, it's like if you're working and you're busy and it fills you up, who gives a shit, Yeah. I don't know. But
sure.
Anyway. So we are rounding the time up, but I know that you've got one more item here. So
yeah.
Hit me with it, because I've actually not looked at this at all.
Okay. Well, so, and you're gonna have to bear with me because I tried it out on Megan, and we ended up in a discussion about it, which I think is the whole point of it. Because I mean, it's referred to as Newcomb's paradox.
Okay.
Or Newcomb's problem.
Okay.
And so this was William Newcomb of the University of California's Lawrence Livermore Laboratory.
Okay.
And so this was created back in the late 60s, but apparently it was published by Robert Nozick in 1969. But anyway, moving right along. So I'm going to present you with the problem, and then we can open it to discussion, I guess.
All right.
So there is a predictor, a player, and two boxes designated A and B.
Okay.
The player is given a choice between taking only box B or taking both boxes A and B.
Okay.
Those are your only two options. So, box A is clear and always contains a visible $1,000.
Okay.
Box B is opaque and its content has already been set by the predictor. Okay? So, as the player, you know what the options were, and I'm about to hit you with what the predictor was responsible for.
Okay.
If the predictor has predicted the player will take both boxes A and B, then B contains nothing. Okay?
Okay.
If the predictor predicted that you would take only box B, then box B contains $1 million.
Okay.
Okay? Okay, so the predictor was predicting one of two things. A and B or B. If he predicted A and B, B has nothing in it. If he predicted that you were going to take B, B has $1 million in it.
Okay.
So you walk into this room, you know this. What do you choose, and why do you choose that?
All right, let me just repeat this back to you, right? So there are three individuals here, right? Three parties, right?
There's only two.
There's two. Okay, so there's three boxes. Excuse me. So there's picker and player.
Picker and player, and there's only two boxes.
Oh, what the fuck? Where did I get three from?
I don't know.
Okay.
So you have predictor and player, and then you have boxes A and B.
Boxes A and B. A is clear, has $1,000. B is opaque and has may or may not have something in it.
Correct.
Okay. And so I can choose either A or I can choose A and B.
No, you can choose B
either A
or A and B.
B or A and B. Okay. And then predictor says, okay, if he predicts that you will only choose B, am I getting this right so far?
Yeah.
If you only choose B, then B has $1 million in it.
Correct.
But if he predicts that you choose A and B, then B has nothing in it.
Correct.
Okay.
It's kind of a mind fuck, dude.
Okay. So
there's a couple different things at play, but
okay. So what the fuck do you want me to do?
I want you to make a choice as to what choice you would make, and tell me why you would choose that.
How big a guy is this?
Yeah, right.
I'd beat his ass.
Does he have the million on him?
Yeah, that's right. What would I choose?
So real quick, hold on. I'll give you some time to think.
When I'm choosing, I don't know what he's predicting.
Say that again, sorry.
Okay, so am I choosing exclusive to his prediction?
Correct.
So I don't know what he's predicting.
Correct.
So that information is only available to a third party.
No, you know that he is predicting,
but I just don't know.
You just don't know his prediction. So real quick, just to go through. I
would pick A.
You can't pick A.
Oh, it's B or A and B. Okay.
B or A and B.
Good God.
So real quick. So I'm gonna go through this handy little chart. So if the predictor chose A and B, and you chose A and B, then you get $1,000. If the predictor predicted A and B, and you chose B, you get $0. If the predictor predicted B, and you chose A and B, you'd get $1,001,000. If he predicted B, you chose B, you get $1 million.
A and B.
So you'd take A and B?
Sure.
Why?
Because you can see the $1,000 in there.
So this is kind of funny because, like, honestly, I said the exact same thing. I was like, so wait a second, I'm gonna get $1,000, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, my whole thing is like, okay, so, but here, this is what's fucked, right? The predictor has to predict when I'm gonna pick correct for me to get the $1,000, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean,
no, not necessarily.
Okay, so if that's the case, if what I win does not depend on this other picker, then, dude, give me $1,000 for sure.
Well, so if he predicted you chose B and you chose A and B, you get $1,001,000. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He predicted B, so he put the million in there.
Yeah, so still A and B.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, this is kind of the interesting thing, and I'm going to go ahead and quote this, and I hate using Wikipedia, but good luck getting to the bottom of this without it. But,
okay. All right, go ahead.
So in his is Nozick, the guy that published this problem. In his 1969 article, Nozick noted that to almost everyone, it's perfectly clear and obvious what should be done. The difficulty is that these people seem to divide almost evenly on the problem, with large numbers thinking that the opposing half is just being silly. So, like, if you presented this problem to 100 people, almost half would choose what you chose, and almost half would choose box B.
Okay.
So it's very interesting to me that it's like, you know, it brings to question that it's like, oh, well, you know, I mean, like, who is this predictor? Do they know anything about you? You know, it's like...
But it doesn't matter.
Well, but the thing is if another way that it was presented was that the predictor is an AI unit that scans you before you go in the room. Or, I'm sorry, before it decides to do your prediction. So it's this learning whatever robot thing.
Okay.
And so it knows to the 99th degree what you're going to do and what you're going to choose. Okay. Does that change your answer?
No.
See, it would change mine.
No, because what, you're going to trick this thing? You're going to trick this machine?
No, because if...
Well, what I'm saying is in your natural state, if somebody just asked you, you're picking A and B. But now you know this other piece of information, and so now you are going to change the way that you would naturally react to the situation. Like, I just don't...
Well, it's an AI unit that can learn how you would choose. It can basically predict what you're going to choose with 99% accuracy.
Yeah, so I still choose the $1,000.
Well, but if that's the case, and and you go in thinking B, and then you choose B, then you got $1 million.
I don't know, man.
Anyway, I thought it's. I'm telling you, you need to read about it. We'll post, I guess, this wiki article, because that's really all I had to go on. But it's a really fucking heady thing. So
yeah, well, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna think about it, and then we'll address it on the next episode.
Okay, we can do that.
All right.
All right, man. Well, dude, yeah. So this has been Tether Radio, and it's been a fucking blast, man.
Absolutely. First one, man. First of many.
In the books. So yeah, man. I guess that's about it. So this is Daniel with Tether Radio,
and Joseph.
And man, stay spacey, friendos, and join us for the next episode next week. Take it easy, guys.
All right, see ya.